Okay, next I'm going to demonstrate full operation of the Carlsberg MA25 in double exposure mode. Okay, simply come up to the machine, satisfy a series of questions, set a procedure, yes, double exposure, yes, change mass separation, yes. I'm going to set that something a little smaller, 75 microns, yes. Load lower mask, yes. Mask has been placed into position on the lower mask so we can lock and load the lower mask. Now the upper mask, it asks us if we want to unload. It's already been done. So say no, we can load upper mask. Yes. Automatically picks up the upper mask. Move red filter. You have to manually turn on the red filter for microscope illumination. Upper mask makes wedge compensation with the lower mask, locks levels and separates. Asks us if we want a line mask. Yes. We simply now use the Y micrometer, theta micrometer, and X micrometer to align the lower mask relative to the upper mask. Okay, then it asks us, do we want to check alignment? It simply moves the mask up and down, checks for repeatability, and if it looks good, which it does normally, you just say no, move the red filter, upper mask separates, okay, then it asks more questions. First mask, we're going to say no, we're going to say with alignment, change the alignment gap, 75, no, we can go as low as 50. Try that. Lower exposure time, we've set to 1 second. Upper exposure time, 1 second. Exposure distance, you can set that 50 to 100. Say no, 100. Yes. Wafer thickness, yes. I put in 1,000 because I'm not certain how thick your thickest substrate is there. It looks to be about a millimeter, so I put in 1,000. It actually might be more than a millimeter. I'm going to put 1,200. But whatever the wafer thickness is for the series of wafers you're sending through here, just simply put it in. Change contacts. This machine counts the contacts between the wafer and the lower mask to indicate it's time to clean the masks. So right now it's set for 100, we could put that to 9999. You typically know when to change your masks on your own. Double pre-align, yes. Check alignments, no. Pre-alignment empty, yes. Press start. It's going to now load the wafers into the funnel type pre-aligner, which is set up to handle your different size 4-inch substrates. Automatically loads the next wafer and has brought our first wafer into alignments. We now use the microscope, same as the other machine, independent X movement and independent focus here on both sides. And now you want to move both masks relative to the wafer for alignment using the joystick, moving in the X direction. I'm sorry, that was the Y direction, and now the X direction is here, left and right with the joystick. And theta is controlled here with this rotational knob. Almost identical to the other machine. Okay, after you have aligned your both of your masks to your wafer, we can next step the wafer into contact using the align button. Machine indicates we're in contact and ready for exposure. If the alignment looks good, you can hit expose or hit align if it's not perfectly aligned. But we're going to hit expose, which then puts the wafer into contact to the lower mask. Wafer comes down. Upper mask comes down, and just want to demonstrate that you need to move the microscope in order to expose. Otherwise you can hurt the operator with the ultraviolet light through the microscope. And again, we unload the wafer, bring the new wafer in. Next wafer is ready for alignment. Same way, go in. This time the joystick alignment will be very fast because it's going to be extremely close to the previous alignment. First alignment is the most lengthy. After that it is usually 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, alignment looks good. We'll step it into contact and then expose. Move microscope. Deposits the wafer on the lower mask. The mask comes down. Exposes both sides. Again, we've got all types of substrates in here. Recycling with no problems whatsoever. Okay, separation. Step it in contact. Separation again, joystick alignment, just to demonstrate, and theta control here. Separation align, step it in contact, contact exposed, push exposure, close the wafer onto the lower mask, upper mask comes down to a proximity to that wafer, exposes both sides. Separates, then unload. Double pre-line. Again, do your double mask 2 wafer alignments. Joystick. X. And okay. Alignment looks good. Step it into contact. Expose. Move microscope. Again, upper mask lowers for exposure. Unloads and unloads our final wafer for alignments. Done the same way. And data. Separation line. Yes, all done. Contact exposed. Yes. Move microscope. Exposure. Okay, perfectly handled, unloaded. One small note here, just want to indicate that we do have the laser type wafer detector for the load station, which we did not have previously. So it does detect any type of substrate whatsoever. The last type was a capacitive type, which did not work for your different wafers. So we are working great.